Hey there, my name is Dylan, and we're going to be doing a gear review for winter ski backpacking touring. We are planning for some pretty cold temperatures, 1 to 2 nights, and this is everything that I'm packing. Feel free to use this as a guide for yourself. Here we go. We're gonna start with our layering system. I like to build a person. So you see how this person down here resembles me and what I'm wearing. Starts with the most visible being our base layers, and then going outer and outer. So I have a smart wool tighter undershirt. Something preferably wool. It traps heat really well and still insulates when it's kind of wet. Definitely not cotton. No cotton anywhere. Yeah, PSA, no cotton for winter camping or ever. No cotton. Maybe wear a sun shirt. This has a hood on it. This is what I do a lot of my hiking in because I get hot and I don't like wearing sunscreen. But as long as I'm not facing it, I'm okay in this. But yeah, it's lightweight, breathes well. One of my favorite layers, actually. Synthetic sun shirt. Does start to stink though. Synthetic layers definitely smell quicker. Wool does a good job not smelling. It's pretty sweet. Then I have a full zip fleece. This keeps me really warm. It's fully synthetic. I'm a big fan. A puffy jacket here. This is actually Patagonia's Micro Puff. Let me see, we got the Pat. Love the hood. Hood fits well. And then a really important layer that you cannot forget is your raincoat. Also your wind shell. This is important. Helps you trap heat, but it also prevents you from getting wet. And when you get wet, you get in trouble. My visor, big fan of a visor because, you know, like I said, I like keeping the sun out of my face, but my head also gets really hot, and so it breathes well in the visor. It's my beanie. I'll wear the beanie when it's cold at night underneath all this, but I'll also wear it underneath the visor. And then you can just strap the visor down, and then you have a warm sun hat. And then I have a lightweight bike helmet. This is not my typical ski helmet, but when I'm trying to save weight, this thing weighs nothing, and I'm a big fan of the lightweight helmet. Also breathes really well if you want to wear it going uphill. Wouldn't really suggest it, because if it's snowing, your head gets wet, and it is really cold, but I'm a fan. And then a buff, very important. It can help keep sun out of your face, help protect your neck, protect you from wind and sun exposure. It also helps to block air from drafting out of your layers if you're cold, and keep it around your neck. Or around your head is another layer. And down to our bottom half. We got some underwear here. I have some synthetics here, but wool are great because they don't smell. These definitely start smelling for me after a day or two. And then I have my smart wool layer. I'm not using this all the time. These are just at night when things are cold. I'm a cold sleeper, so these help a lot, especially for my legs because they get cold. I believe these are the thickest smart wool's base layers that they have. And then on another fleece layer, so I have a fleece layer here and I have a fleece layer on my top. I think fleece layers are great. A little bit heavier, but I enjoy the extra warmth. And then onto our outermost layer. I have some insulated ski pants here. I would suggest against that, I would get some shell pants that have nice big zippers. These zippers are pretty short, and they go from here to here. Would suggest getting longer zippers and them being shells. These are also not very waterproof, unfortunately. I get into trouble there. And then I bring 1 to 2 pairs of ski socks. This trip, 1 to 2 days, I'm just gonna bring 1 pair. I don't need to bring any more than that. Yeah, word to the wise. It's hard to dry things when it's cold and the sun's not out. So just don't get wet. Don't sacrifice getting wet. Bring the right layers. Bring solid waterproof shells. It could save your life. Coming on to our sleep system. So we have another pair of socks there. Those are my Sacred socks. Those don't do anything at all except live in this sleeping bag. It's a Nemo Disco. I think it weighs like 43 ounces. On the heavier side, but it's a 15 degree. So it keeps me warm, but not necessarily warm enough. That's why I have so many layers for that is. But this is a mummy. I prefer the mummy. It helps me stay warm. I can cinch this all the way closed and I'll just cocoon myself in here. But the Sacred socks, they live in there for when those are wet, and those are all I've got. And that's just a nice thing to come back to at the end of the day and put on my nice dry socks. Turtle, come back over here. Come here. I have a 3/4 length pad, Nemo switchback. Big fan. If you're just a pad sleeper, I would suggest picking up a blow up for winter camping, because it helps give you more room in between the snow and your sleeping itself. It helps you stay warmer. And if you're just a pad kind of guy, you really need a foamy for winter camping, because of the moisture accumulating on the bottom side of this, and it gets wet and it saps the warmth out of you. So this is my Nemo Tensor. It's on the heavier side, but I think it's necessary, so I bring it. Then on to our the rest of the sleep system. We have our ground layer, very important. You always need a ground tarp. Helps keep everything dry. My Big Agnes Tiger Wall ultralight. Stoked about this. Our poles. Let's move on to what goes inside the bag also. So here I have this, let's say, ditty bag for my lots of things. This bag also turns into a pillow at night. I will fill it up with whatever layers I'm not using. Sometimes it's just this. Sometimes it's this and this. And then throw it in here and make a pillow. And then if it's so cold, I have all my layers on, and whatever, man, I'll figure it out. We have a headlamp, important, very important. And then we have extra batteries for our headlamp. You can just change them out beforehand and hope that they'll be good, or you can bring extras. I tend to bring extras, especially in group settings, in case somebody forgets, and I can give them batteries. But that's up to you. Then we have our toothbrush and toothpaste. Look at that. Cut it. You can keep refilling this. I like these. Chapstick. And then we have our L crap bag. Taking dookies in that guy, and then wrap it up, take it out. And then hand sanitizer and a little bit of toilet paper, and that goes all in this bag here. And then I have 2 Smart Water 1 liter. Water filter systems also fit really well onto these, but we are going to be boiling our water the whole time, so that's why I have this for my hot drinks and such, for when it's cold and I want to boil some water and just put it straight into here, keep it warm. Put it inside my jacket, keep me warm, or as like in between from here to then go into there. And onto our cook system. I've got a little MSR, whatever you call this. Big fan. Except it loses heat quite a bit when you're cooking. So I have the tinfoil sheet that I wrap around the bottom of this cook system. And then I have a little lid for that to help it boil quicker. Our fuel, and a little stand to keep it all together. And that goes all into that bag. The reason 2 days I have such a big canister is because all of our water comes from the snow that we melt. So you need to have fuel for winter backpacking, unless for some reason you're backpacking in the snow where there's water. And there's water over there, but as you see, there's not much snow. Hey, turtle. Hey, buddy. I don't bring my cat yet. He doesn't have a harness, but I'm gonna get a harness on him. Our ARI backcountry decision-making guide, very important. Planning your trip, sticking to it, and writing down observations, and being able to tell what you're looking at when making field ops. That's important. Map, always have paper maps, even if you've got a Garmin device that's got a GPS system. You never know if that's gonna fail. Always good to have a good old map with your route on it. And then compass, never go anywhere without a compass. That's a given. But this is my InReach Mini. This is my communication device. This is my insurance device that I don't die if I get hurt or somebody else gets hurt and we need help. Moving on, this is my transceiver. I do not have my transceiver with me, so this is my placeholder for that. I'm gonna set that over here with my probe and my shovel. I don't have my shovel either, so these all live in my bag. Well, this lives on me within my kit, so we'll put that over there. That's on my system. Second to most outer layers where that lives. And then this is accessible, but not so accessible that if I crash, they fall out. That's important. This is my bag. It's the Hyperlight Southwest 55 liter. Big fan. First aid kit. Really important to always have a first aid kit. I got a lot in there. Band-aids, stuff for blisters, moleskin, to be able to clean a wound, a trauma kit, all the things that you would need for a small to medium-sized group, all in here. My solo trips are definitely smaller, but that's a good group size kit. Lots of stuff for multiple injuries. Turtle. And then we have our food bag. Depending on the time of the year and the location, bear canister will replace this. But right now I just have a, it's pretty much smell proof, not really, but it's a waterproof Sea to Summit dry bag that I just shove all my food into and roll it up. Here I have my drinks. These drinks will go into there. Some tea, some coffee. Yeah, big fan. Big fan. Also noted, I have melatonin in here. I'm a poor sleeper, especially when I'm uncomfortable, and that really helps me go to bed at night. Be rested for the next day. Onto our skiing things. This is gonna be different for everybody. I've got the cast system. My skins are gonna be outside of their case there, and without the savers. And then I have my poles. Big fan of the grips here, that way I can adjust where I'm using my poles. And last but not least, got our boots. Lang XT3s with booster straps and the Power Wrap Intuition liner. Big fan of these. Big fan. Okay, so I forgot one final thing. Sunglasses. I don't really bring goggles when I'm touring. They fog up when you're traveling uphill, and most of the time when I'm going downhill, I find that I don't actually need them, and that the sunglasses, even in windier, sometimes snowy conditions, they do pretty fine. My last trip, it was really windy and snowy. There was some snow blowing in, but I didn't have any issues. It was pretty okay. Okay, well, that's our whole kit for winter backpacking. Feel free to leave a comment if I missed something that you think is important. Also, if you have anything to add out of your personal kit. Like I said, these are my preferences, but feel free to leave your feedback. And thanks for watching. Have a freaking sweet day.